Wow.
Say you're gonna be, say you're gonna be, say you're gonna be, say you're gonna be. Well.
No comment.
We haven't even taken off the overlay yet.
Oh yeah. We'll get there.
Say you're gonna be, say you're gonna be, say you're gonna be, say you're gonna be. Welcome to the Sabby Jaybe show.
Sorry, guys. We're just cracking up over a lot of the videos and memes that we've seen on Twitter all day. Oh no. Okay.
Oh my gosh. All right, JB, get it together.
I'm serious now.
All right, serious face, put it on. I can't with you right now. Welcome to the Sabby and Jaybe show. My name is James Fauntleroy. I have the hostess with the mostest, Sabby Sabs, joining me here today. Just to let you guys know the Sabby and Jaybe show streams every single Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also catch Sabby on Fridays at 6 p.m. here on RBN and on her channel at 8 p.m. Eastern on Fridays on the Sabby Sabs channel. You can also catch me on Sundays for the JB show on RBN, and you can catch me on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on my own channel called the JB Fun channel. If you are new to the channel, please make sure to hit that thumbs up. And if you're new, please make sure to subscribe. We're now at 21,500 over that. Let's try to get ourselves to 22. We are approaching that quickly. So thank you so very much for all the support, as well as all the support for our patrons on Patreon. For without you, we would not be able to do what we do. So thank you so very much. Sabby!
I'm going to try to keep a straight face, JB. Guys, Twitter has been blowing up all day. Because,
that ship is sail for me. That ship
the
is
videos
sail.
are hilarious, though. The videos are cracking me up.
Oh, look, the videos. Look, I want to see Indian Twitter. I want to see Irish Twitter, and I want to see all of African Twitter right now because you know,
and TikTok. TikTok is crazy too right now.
I'm drinking my tea right now. It's hot. I can't even drink the tea. What the hell?
It's crazy, you guys. It's crazy. Yeah. We have an interesting topic today. For those who don't know, if you're new, typically we do something a little bit different with the show. We try to talk about different subjects than politics. Sometimes it might be like celebrity culture. And JB and I have kind of been noticing something in reference to policing and some of the Black celebrities who are very well loved and liked, and how they kind of sell out. So,
yeah. Do you mind if I say hello to people in the chat real quick before we get started?
Do it.
Do it. Do it. Everybody, do the Urkel dance. Do the Urkel. Do the Sorry.
I
don't know if you remember that
song. I can't believe you remember it.
I do. I do. Anyway, let's get to the people in the chat. CBC voter Pancake, so good to see you as always, saying, let's talk about the
See, CBC voter, we were trying to be serious. We were trying to stop laughing.
CBC, come on, man. Or person. Man. Worst family in the world can give back the money now. True. Then CBC says, happy Thursday. That's hilarious. John Kemper says, if we talk about the Queen, we'll get to hilarious. Control yourself, JD. Control yourself. Anon user says, everyone see Breonna Joy Gregg clip of Cornell carrying water for Biden today. No, I did not, but I will be giving that a look. Thank you so much. Hello, Robin During. So good to see you. The artist, Robin During. So good to see you. All right, so this is a thread. I'm gonna try to get through this. Ready, Sabs?
Okay.
Liz Truss smothered the Queen with a pillow. Anything to take people's minds off the energy crisis. I'm just worried that Charlie's big.
Wow.
She's talking about Prince Charles. I'm just worried about Charlie's big inbred ears won't fit into the money. 10-pound note gonna need wings like a maxi pad.
Click forward. What?
Oh my God, this is hilarious. Oh my God. Okay, last one. Nutters over here already blaming Megan. You guys should take her back for a couple of weeks until this madness dies down.
Wow.
Damn.
I don't know what to say.
I don't either, but that was hilarious. Yo, we got the funniest audience, Sabs.
I noticed.
Oh my God, you guys are the gift that keeps on giving. I love y'all. Bad Cookies in the house saying, sup, everybody. Sup, Bad Cookies.
Please.
Devotion Earns saying hello with orange hearts. So good to see you. Marco Padilla says, rolling on the floor laughing. That's what we doing today. All right. Rodrigo says, have y'all seen the episodes of Seinfeld where Elaine dates a communist? Oh, no.
Yes, I did.
The way he treated is awful. Really? You saw it?
Yes, it's funny, JB. It's funny. Like they talk about him. They talk about his clothes, that his clothes have a drab color. It's hilarious.
Really?
You have to watch that episode.
Wow, I'm gonna have to catch that. I've never been a big fan of Seinfeld. My oldest brother, though, he loves Seinfeld. Loves it. Mm-hmm. All right. Demonio78 says, hello, folks. Hello, Demonio. Sorry. A little British humor there. Yipper99 says, sorry. Our stomachs are going to be hurting by the end of the show. Watch. I got an ad to join the police department with a woman sponsoring it on the stream.
Yikes. I guess we have police in the title, JB, but still.
Okay. John Kemper says, back in time. Back to you, John Kemper. So good to see you. Cool Blue says, hello, everyone. Good to see you. What's up, Greg? There you go, boy. There you go. Good to see you in the chat there. All right. Creative Experiments.
What is in that cup?
Huh?
What is in that cup, JB?
I have no. Okay. So I'm in somewhat of a good mood because they got the catheter out, so now it's just a bandage here. So that's gone. And then I got some good news yesterday, and then some good news on my channel. So I JB. So yeah. So yeah, that's that. I don't know what's in the cup, but I'm glad it's in the cup. All right. Bestie Sweary Fairy says, I was about to say, no chance of JB having a straight face. Baby, there's nothing straight about me. What do you expect?
Oh my God.
What is in that cup? What's in that tea? All right. Yeah, Devotion Orange, this is a goofy but informative show. That's what we try to do.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, first super chat of the day. Sad, you're gonna have to read this one. I'm not reading it.
Thanks for the super chat, Frank Johnson. Ding dong, the witch is dead. You guys, I'm trying to put on a serious face. I really am. Jeez.
Good to see you, a non-user. Good to see you. All right. Miss Anita says, hello, Sabby and JB, and hello, RB and comrades. Good vibes, chill with cat. Oh, say hello to your cat for me, too. from your comrade in France. Merci beaucoup, madame. All right. So good to see ya. I did take a French class in middle school, okay?
Okay.
Sabs is laughing at me at my French pronunciation. Raziel the Great! JB! LOL! That's right. Everybody laughs. Everybody's going to have a good time tonight. Steph scene, laughing my ass all grooving. That's right. All right. Black
Oh
and
my
Irish
God.
Twitter coming together sounds like a red-brown alliance. More like a black and green alliance, right? You know?
I get...
I know. Frank Johnson says, not the Urkel dance, JB. Yeah, you damn like the Urkel. The Urkel. Okay. Roman Smith is in the chat saying the Queen is dead. Long live Freddie Mercury. We are the champions, my friend.
Queen.
Well, Pilgrim is in the chat. Good to see you. All right. Did I say anyone else? I just want to make sure that I get to enough people. Tiberius Monk says, the only queen I know to was Queen Angela Bassett from Black Panther. Queen Ramonda.
Oh.
You made that sound like you were one of the minions from Despicable Me. All right. Mike Shackley says Seinfeld sucks.
Mike.
I don't know. I wouldn't know. I'm not a big fan, but there's a lot of fans out there. All right. Joseph Bett says, what's up, party people? What's up, Joseph? All right. And N Riv says, what's up, Jersey boy JB? What's up? Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. How's your family doing? Are you drinking some Sanka coffee with the Enderman's cakes? I hope you are. Don't forget the tasty cakes, baby.
Oh God. What? Not the Enderman's cakes.
Yes, the intimate. Look, okay. David Warshower Sour, good to see you in the chat. All right, let me get to this. All right, Intamin's Cakes. There was an Intamin store down the street from my grandma, and she would take us there. Now, here's how you knew it was discounted. The discount ones were the ones that were a couple days old. The ones that were regular price were the ones that were fresh. The discounted ones had a black marker striped against them. The fresh ones had a red marker striped against them. So that's what you knew which was which. So my grandmother would get the discounted ones with the black stripe, and then we would have that. And then she always offered me, a 10-year-old, Sanka coffee out of the orange can.
Not the Sanka.
Yeah, she offered me the Sanka.
Oh,
and she had the coffee pot with the percolator. Yeah, that's what she had.
It's time for the percolator. It's time for the percolator.
Let's get it percolated while you're waiting. So just dance for me. Sorry. Everybody gonna get on down, cause you know we about to get it chrome. Mary J is in the spot tonight, so we make you feel alright. Sorry. Okay, so shall we get to the story?
Okay. Here we go.
All right. So Willard Smith. Rory O'Neill and Rockfin said Queen, blah. Queen is still awesome to me. But Will Smith made a comment about defund the police. So we're going to go to that. So let me see where here it is. Bam, and ready to go. All right, so this is, hang on, let me enlarge this just to make sure it is big enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boop. All right, so this is from Yahoo. It says, Will Smith explains why he disagrees with defund the police sentiment. This was back in 2021. So this is interesting. A lot of people, I didn't even know he had said this, but apparently he did. So it starts off as along with Denzel Washington, Will Smith is one of the most famous movie cops in Hollywood thanks to his blockbuster Bad Boys franchise. In a wide-ranging interview with GQ, the star of okay, whatever, that's already passed. Smith addresses the Defund the Police movement that gained traction after the murder of George Floyd in Minneapolis police custody on May 2020, 4 months after the third Bad Boys installment, Bad Boys for Life, racked up $200 million at the U.S. box office. And much like Washington, who recently told Yahoo Entertainment that he has the utmost respect for real life cops, Smith sounds more cautious note about the movement's goals. Quote, I would love if we would just say defund the bad police, he remarks, liking it to a conflicting message over critical race theory. It's almost like I want, as Black Americans, for us to change our marketing for the new position we're in. So critical race theory, just call it truth theory. The pendulum is swinging in our direction beautifully. I cried bullshit, but it's whatever. Quote, this is a difficult area to discuss, but I feel like the simplicity of Black Lives Matter was perfect. Anybody who tries to debate Black Lives Matter looks ridiculous. So when I talk about the marketing of our ideas, Black Lives Matter was perfection. From a standpoint of getting it done, Black Lives Matter gets it done. Quote, defund the police doesn't get it done, no matter how good the ideas are. I'm not saying we shouldn't defund the police. I'm saying just don't say that, because then people would help. Who would help? You won't.
What?
Yeah. Now, it says here, amid the Black Lives Matter protests last summer, Smith spoke about his own interactions with police officers as a young man in Philadelphia, indicating that he was called the N-word on multiple occasions. He says, I got stopped frequently. Says so he understands what it's like to be in those circumstances with the police. He says he explains that for much of his career, he placed being an entertainer over being a spokesperson for any particular cause. He said he wanted to be a superhero, so he wanted to pick Black excellence alongside his white counterparts. He said, I wanted to play roles that you would give to Tom Cruise. Now that he says he's in his fucking 50s, though he's ready to incorporate politics into his art. And now he's going to be doing a slave movie, but slave movie is going to be about Black love. Basically, that's what it talks about, the power of Black love. I'm like, and that last part, we talk about, how Black love makes us invincible. You're going to incorporate it into a slavery movie. I'm like, if you want to do that, just make a sci-fi instead. Why you got to do it with a slavery movie? But what the hell do I know? But Sabs, what is your thoughts on this article?
Well, one thing I want to point out first, Black Lives Matter, he said got it done. What did it get done? Because the organization Black Lives Matter, they basically like made a brand out of it, pocketed a lot of money. Black Lives Matter organization bought a $5 million house. What did it get done? What did it get done? Like, Black people are still being killed by the police, unarmed Black people still being killed by the police. It didn't do anything but honestly just help that organization itself make a lot of money. And other organizations, Cadillac and Nike, other organizations co-opted that movement. The Democratic Party co-opted that movement, and they've been able to profit off of it. So how did it get it done?
You're absolutely right. It's like, what was accomplished? How did we as Black people, we as a disenfranchised people, actually advance forward from the onset of the phrase Black Lives Matter? Did it make some people more aware? Yes, but it also created an onset of a lot of people going, well, all lives matter. And it really didn't change the narrative so much for a lot of people. And I think part of changing that narrative really actually has to be systemic. And the difference between Black Lives Matter and defund the police, especially as a phrase, is Black Lives Matter is more of an abstract, oh, Black lives should matter, whereas defund the police is completely institutional and attacks an institution head on in the phrase.
That's
So a
right.
lot of times you'll get a lot of people, and really, Will Smith is basically saying he agrees with the actual premise of defund the police. It's really just a semantics argument to him. So he's just arguing semantics.
Well, he
But
doesn't want
this is
people to say it. He said in the article he doesn't want people to say it because then some people won't help you. Then what are you supposed to say?
I really don't give a shit about if they don't want to help or not, because the thing is that they wouldn't help in the first place. Like,
right.
why? It's like, why do we care about their feelings when we're the ones being killed, right? Like if I'm in a car accident and the car is burning and I'm pinned in the car, are you going to be like, stop cursing? People aren't going to want to save you. No, get me out the fucking car. Like, help me.
I think I want to add, I think some people may have had a different perception about Will Smith because of the role that really put him on the map, which was the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people I talked to actually believed that Will Smith grew up in a bad neighborhood in Philadelphia, just like his character. That's actually not true. That is actually the producer's story. The producer of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, that was actually his life story. He grew up in a bad neighborhood and his mom sent him to go live with his relatives in Bel-Air. So he took that and made it as a show. Will Smith, for people who are not aware, actually grew up pretty well off. Like he went to, like, yeah, he's from like the Philly area. But Will Smith's parents, if I remember correctly, because I saw the documentary about his life, I think his parents were academics.
Mm-hmm.
I think at least his mom was.
Mm-hmm.
And he went to a prep school.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, it's like, I think people have to erase the image that they thought they had of Will Smith. You have to disconnect him from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air Will, because they didn't have the same like upbringing. So Will Smith went to like a prep school. There weren't many Black people at that school. And so he had a different life. He had a different lifestyle. It's not like he was living in these neighborhoods where the police are always there harassing people, hounding Black people. He doesn't have that experience. Yes, he may have been approached by police before, but he is not like he has the experience where they were always in the neighborhood, basically harassing Black people. He doesn't have that. He comes from that elite academic space. And I don't think a lot of people realize that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In fact, my family's from West Philly. 45th and Sampson across the Ben Franklin Bridge. Yeah, my family's from West Philly. So, yeah, so let's be real. And so that's what Will Smith said. And my thing is like, okay, dude, you have been rich the majority of your life. Because when he got started, he was in his late teens as the Fresh Prince. Because especially when he partnered with DJ Jazzy Jeff, it was DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. So he was making money. He was doing well for a long time. He was already a star before he got on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I'm sorry, go ahead.
As a teenager. And I think he got into, don't quote me on this, I have to go back and check. If I remember correctly, I think Will Smith got into MIT. If I'm not mistaken, I'll look it up, but I could have sworn he either got into, I believe it was MIT. He was very smart. So I just want people to understand he is coming from a different world than I think a lot of us. So he hasn't had to deal with a lot of these issues. And for him to say, don't say defund the police, say defund the bad police. That right there lets you know that Will Smith doesn't understand it's a systemic issue. It's not individual police officers. Because if it was individual police officers, we wouldn't still have this happening. It's a systemic issue. You have qualified immunity, which has not been removed. You have police departments that have quotas. And a lot of times to reach those quotas, what do? They go to target low income Black and brown neighborhoods. That's how they reach that quota. In fact, everybody should go watch. There's a interview that Joe Rogan did a couple years ago. I cannot remember the guy's name. Actually, I think his name was Mike. He was a former police officer in Baltimore. And the things that he said, and I think this guy's done multiple interviews, it's very revealing. And one of the things that he said was that you don't actually have to have a reason to arrest someone. He talked about how they would plant like drugs on people in Baltimore just so they could reach that quota. So I think, yes, thank you, Marco. Michael J. Wood Jr. Yes, look him up. But and this was a white guy, and he told all of it after he left the police department. And so I think the fact that Will Smith doesn't understand it's a systemic issue and he's a Black man, I think that kind of shows that a little bit of that privilege he may have had growing up in that wealthier academic space.
Yeah. So just a correction. This is from blackhistory.mit.edu. It says that Smith was born in West Philadelphia, the son of Caroline Bright, a Philadelphia school board administrator, and Willard Carl Smith, Sr., a refrigeration engineer. Though widely reported, it is untrue that Smith turned down a scholarship to attend MIT. He never applied to college because he wanted to rap. Smith says that he admitted to a pre-engineering summer program at MIT for high school students, but he did not attend. According to Smith, my mother, who worked for the school board of Philadelphia, had a friend who was the admissions officer at MIT. I had pretty high SAT scores and they needed Black students, so I probably could have gotten in, but I had no intention of going to college.
And see how he had connections?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But thank you for clarifying that, JB. But see how he already had connections? His mom had a friend on the admissions board at MIT.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So, it's kind of interesting. Bad Cookie says, gave up a free ride to MIT to rap.
Yeah.
But the thing is that the point still stands. He has been, rich and wealthy most of his life. So if he started before he was 20, right, that means for over 30 years out of 50, he has experienced a life of wealth and prestige. Yep. So with that being said, I mean, does he still have a disadvantage for being a Black man in this country? Absolutely. But at the same time, what neighborhoods was he living in as a young adult? What neighborhoods, where the police would look at him and say, "Oh, hello, Mr. Smith. How are you doing, Mr. Smith?" Right? Yep. They didn't see him as just, another Black man on the street.
That's right.
And everybody knows that face. Everybody knows that face, and everybody knows them ears. They're like, yeah, that's Will Smith. So they're not going to be like, oh, well, it's just some random Black dude. No. And the thing is that even Dave Chappelle talked about it. Dave Chappelle about how he was pulled over by a police officer. But the police officer said, oh, man, it's you, Dave. All right.
Yep.
And they gave him a pass just because he was Dave Chappelle. But Dave Chappelle said, what if I was not famous?
Same thing with Stephen A. from ESPN. Stephen A. said the same thing happened to him. Mm-hmm. And they let him go because they recognized who he was.
Yeah. And so that's the question that a lot of people need to ask themselves who are famous. Like, if you weren't famous, what have your head been bashed in by the police already? Maybe.
That's right.
Like, if Snoop Dogg wasn't Snoop Dogg, he would have already served time. He would have probably already served time in prison for marijuana possession. You and I both know that would have happened.
Didn't he have wasn't Snoop brought up on charges when he was famous? I thought he was brought up on charges, but they found him not guilty.
A murder charge. Yeah.
Yeah, murder charge.
Mm-hmm.
But how would that have gone if he wasn't Snoop?
Yeah. And because he was Snoop, guess what? And Snoop Dogg even recounted the story himself. He was banned from Britain. But guess who allowed him back in Britain? Who just died today? Queen Elizabeth. She's the one that allowed him back in Britain. She said he did nothing wrong. But and he even made a song called "Murder Was the Case They Gave Me." But here's the point being is somebody like Will Smith, he has a privilege that really he will always, be given deference. Now, there may be some racist police officers that probably wouldn't, but they'll only give him deference not because not because they're not racist or anything like that, but there may be some racist police officers or hateful police officers that will only give him deference because they don't want to hear it from the department.
Right. That's right. And the thing is,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Oh, no, go ahead. Finish. Sorry.
I was going to say, and some give him deference because they actually like him and they know him.
Will Smith is the, and JB knows what I'm about to say. He is the not okay. He's one of those people that has been considered acceptable and approved by white people. He's one of the ones.
He's one of the good ones.
There you go. He's one of the ones. So like he's more likely to get a pass per se. Like, look how he walked up on the stage and slapped Chris Rock, right? Now imagine if it was Ice Cube.
Yeah.
Let that sink in. Let that sink in. And not saying that people didn't criticize him for that, but imagine if it was someone like Ice Cube that did that.
Yep. And let's be real.
Don't get it twisted. Like, Will Smith isn't going to do anything that's going to jeopardize his career. He knows he knows the game. He knows what to say. He says just enough to, I guess, somewhat be accepted by the Black community. And I say somewhat, but also just enough so that he still has that stamp of approval from white people.
Yeah. Also, he's light skinned.
Yep.
I mean, that's a point. I mean, and a lot of people who may be white may not realize that, but from the Black community's perspective, like, Will Smith is a light-skinned dude. So a lot of times they're also seen as less threatening than those of us of a darker complexion.
That's right.
So imagine Tyrese Gibson getting on stage and slapping the shit out of Chris Rock.
That's right. Roman said Ice Cube would be crucified. Ice-T would get a pass.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yep. Because Ice Cube can say "fuck the police," but Ice-T can come out with a song called "Cop Killer."
Right.
See what I mean?
But the thing is, too, it's not even just Will Smith. Morgan Freeman is another one that came out against it.
Yep. And I'm about to share that article too. Thank you for the segue, Sabby. Sabby is a national treasure, everybody.
Why do I feel like, JB, when you read this article, I'm going to hear it in Morgan Freeman's voice?
You gave me an idea. Oh, Sabby, you gave me an idea. Morgan Freeman. I'm not in the least bit for defunding the police. Actor and producer Morgan Freeman has given a no to the movement of defund the police. I'm not in the least bit for defunding the police, Freeman said to Black Enterprise's Selena Hill in an interview posted on Instagram. Police work is, aside from all the negativity around it, it is very necessary for us to have them, and most of them are guys that are doing their job. They're going about their day-to-day jobs. There are some police that would never pull their guns except in a range. That sort of thing. I'm Morgan Freeman. That's my voice. Freeman made the remarks while promoting his new film, Blah, 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 yakety schmackety. Okay, well, let me read this. It says Freeman made the remarks while promoting his new film with actor Frankie Faison from The Wire, The Killing of Kenneth Chamberlain, which is based on the real-life murder of a 60-year-old black veteran who was fatally shot by police inside his home in White Plains, New York. Read the room, Morgan! It says the true story is about a former Marine with bipolar disorder who was killed in 2011 by police after accidentally triggering his medical alert device, leading to a confrontation with police that led to his death. Okay, so those are just comments, but that's what Morgan Freeman said. So he said, I'm not in the least bit for defunding the police. Mr. Driving Miss Daisy is not in the least bit interested in defunding the police. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Sabby, your thoughts?
He's also against Black History Month too. I don't know if everybody knows that. He's come out against that as well. Morgan Freeman, again, he's one of those people like Will Smith that has that stamp of approval by white people. So he's another one where, I haven't really, I used to like Morgan Freeman, but honestly, I don't think I've liked Morgan Freeman, or the last time I thought Morgan Freeman was cool was Shawshank Redemption. Mm-hmm. Since then, Morgan Freeman has been saying and doing some things to me that's just really weird and bizarre. He was dating, I'll have to double check and see if he married her. Didn't he date his stepdaughter?
Oh, I have no idea about that.
I'm going to look it up now.
But yeah, that sounds freaky as hell. That sounds weird. But marrying his.
Yes. Morgan Freeman had an affair with his step granddaughter.
Dear
No,
Lord.
I'm not kidding. It came out 2018. Let me see. Before she was murdered, Morgan Freeman's step granddaughter told her boyfriend turned killer that the actor had been secretly sleeping with her, confirming years old claims about the illicit affair. So how old was she?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I thought so.
Bruh.
Yeah.
I'm never going to look at Lucius Fox the same again. Wow.
I mean, that's what he can get away with when he's who he is. Check something else too. But he's another one. I just He's been added to the list of basically acceptable black people. That's kind of how it goes with him.
Yeah. I mean, Morgan Freeman was cool and Lean on Me, but post that.
They call me Crazy Joe.
Expeditiously now. This will be my avenging angel.
You smoke rocks, don't you? Go ahead and jump. Jump. You smoke rocks.
All I got to do is stay black and die. We don't want a better principal. We want Mr. Clark.
Free Mr. Clark. Free Mr. Clark.
Free Mr. Clark.
You want me to just bend over and just kiss my ass right here? I'm the HNIC in here. The only.
The dude that played his boss, I think the superintendent, I loved his character. He played Rafiki in The Lion King. Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, he was Rafiki in The Lion King. I miss him. He was great.
See, now you make me want to go. See, now you're taking me down Lean on Me lane.
Oh,
That movie,
yeah.
I mean, it's based on a true story. It actually is a serious movie, but some of the scenes are kind of funny because of the way that he reacts in those scenes.
Yeah. Yep. That was funny.
I don't want to jump, Mr. Clark. I don't want to jump. Go ahead, jump, jump. You smoke rocks, don't you?
Oh my goodness. That was funny. Oh man. We can quote that movie. Oh yeah, he was Benson from the 80s. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So I got one more black celebrity that also said that they disagree with defunding the police. All right, let's get to it. And Sabby, you're gonna be like, "Oh, of course." Watch. All right, let me see. Where is that article? Yeah. All right. And we're getting this quote directly from a police website. Charles Barkley dismisses defund the police movement. Can you believe this knucklehead said he doesn't believe in defund the police? Defund the police is a terrible, terrible thing. All right. NBA legend Charles Barkley, one of the association's most dominant power forwards in history, now a star commentator on TNT's successful Inside the NBA. See, you see how the police mag.com is licking his foot right now. I'm trying to be careful with my language. Okay. He said in an interview that the movement to defund the police is misguided. According to Fox News, the former NBA player said in an interview with CNN, "We need the cops. Most of the cops do a fantastic job." Bullshit. But instead of defunding and all this other stuff, let's just do police reform. Everybody should be on board for whether you're a Democrat, Republican, or conservative or liberal. So Barkley added, "This is not black and white. It's just about humanity. To see a grown man die before our eyes, if you're not upset by that, if you're white, Jewish, Chinese, or anything, there's something wrong with you." Barkley said he hopes that elected leaders on both sides of the political divide began discussing in earnest about viable police reforms that protect citizens and continue to support police. So now we have another one. Charles Barkley started playing professionally out of college, I'm assuming, because I don't really know his history. I don't follow basketball like that, but
he's always been weak, JB, on the issues.
Yeah.
Was a great basketball player, but he's always been weak on the issues.
Yeah.
And he's another one. He's light skinned too.
So this is the same guy that basically, lived a very privileged life. Now, I personally do think that basketball players are workers in labor. They're just very high paid workers in labor, but they literally put their bodies on the line, for entertainment, right? So I'm not going to necessarily throw them under the capitalist class, but they do have a lot of more privilege being the high earners that they are, right? And now, a lot of these basketball players, once they get out of the league and they have all these endorsements, they have all these, they make all this money, through their investments and things like that, then they start to become more rich in the capitalist class. So looking at somebody like Charles Barkley, it's like, bro, look, police are going to call you Mr. Barkley whenever they see you. They're not going to risk themselves or their careers, to do what they do to somebody that looks like me or Sabby or CJ, Nick, or Rome. They're not going to do that, because the thing is that because he's Charles Barkley, they're going to treat Charles Barkley with respect. They're going to treat Charles Barkley pretty much like a white dude.
Yes.
So they're not going to do that because he's Charles Barkley. And so, but then you go, well, if there's a white guy that's the same level as Charles Barkley, both, and it's in fame and wealth, and what do they treat them like? If they treat Charles Barkley like a white dude, well, they treat the rich white guy like a king. That's the difference. But the thing is that Charles Barkley just really, like, dude, yeah, he's probably been racially profiled, no doubt, but
oh yeah, he's from Alabama.
Yeah. So, but my thing is, what do you have against taking money from police funds and putting it into disenfranchised neighborhoods in order to build us up so that we won't need police as much?
And he should understand that, because he is one of the ones, he grew up in poverty. So Charles Barkley should understand that. But again, he's rich now. But something else I want to point out about him as well. I think one thing we got to keep in mind, Charles Barkley, he was, I would say, at his height, or the top of his career as a professional basketball player during the Michael Jordan era. So he comes from that era of professional basketball. And one of the criticisms that some of the basketball players had during that time is that they did not speak out on cultural issues. Michael Jordan was famously known for not speaking out about racial issues. He didn't feel like he came back later on, and he did say that he looks back on it and that wasn't the right approach to take, that he should have spoken out. But at that time, back then, he didn't want to mix that with his career, because let's be real, he was trying to make money. He didn't want to lose endorsements and all that kind of stuff. So even back then, when you had like Rodney King, police brutality, Michael Jordan wouldn't speak about it. So that is something to keep in mind, that Charles Barkley comes from that era where it wasn't seen as, I guess, hip or cool to do that. It's different now. Like LeBron is very outspoken, right? Colin Kaepernick, very outspoken. But during that era, it wasn't as, which is weird, because if you go back a couple decades before, Muhammad Ali had no problem being vocal about racial issues in this country. So it was just kind of weird how then you go into the 90s, and then now it's like black athletes don't really want to speak out about it.
Yeah. Thanks, Frank, for the super chat. It says Barkley has always co-signed with respectability politics. There you go. All right. I'm going to check on The Rock just to make sure that we get some of the comments from there as well.
Oh, thanks for that, Bills fan. I forgot. You're right. Jim Brown, too. That's right. And Joe Lewis. Thank you for that, too, Wesley. Joe Lewis.
He beat Joe Lewis's ass. Sorry.
But yes, like I feel like they just want the police to protect their wealth. Like they're wealthy now, so they don't want to say defund the police, because they want the police to protect them.
Yeah, because if they say defund the police, then they're not going to be coming, to their house if in case something goes down. So,
bingo.
So Dave Burt says, fall from grace for him. Look at the advertising contracts he does too. Let me see. Dave Burt also says everyone loves lean on me, and he said back then, Robert. Oh yeah, that's the gentleman from Benson, Robert. I forgot how to pronounce it. Guillaume. Yeah, he was the boss. He said, despite popular belief, I'm the head in charge, and that was hilarious. And then he said, "Come on, let's go get something to eat."
Yep.
That was my favorite. So that was hilarious. But yeah,
can I shout you out real quick, JB?
Oh, please.
There's a super chat from Tiberius Monk. I want what JB is drinking today. High on life. Thank you for the super chat. And I'm just going to read these right here that are starred. Greg Bruce says that characters and the real person he's based on approach to education was bullshit, throwing the struggling students to the curb. Yeah. Crazy Joe was wild. Chef Boy.
Definitely.
Morgan Freeman, Morgan Freeman and Will Smith are considered acceptable by white America because they've made rich people a lot of money and will continue to do so. Oh, that's a good point. And then just this one, Buckeye fan, Craig Hodges called out Jordan during that time period for his lack of courage on social justice issues. That's right. I mean, we had just had a black man beaten on video by the police and he was on the ground, Rodney King, and Michael Jordan, no comment. Come on.
Yep. But that Nike contract though.
Yeah. There's some quotes from Michael Jordan that might make people cringe a little bit. Like he made a comment one time and he was like, Republicans buy sneakers too. So I tell you, he was just trying to make money. Oh
my God. Yeah. And they also wear Hanes underwear. They wear Hanes tagless underwear now. and they eat ballpark hot dogs.
Oh my God.
I got a pack of ballpark hot dogs in my fridge. Every single time I look at them, I think of Michael Jordan. Wait, that sounds weird. Never. Sorry.
What was I gonna say? Oh, but you were also saying there were some people who came out in support of it. Some celebrities.
Yes. So
I think that's important to know too.
That's going to be very interesting because I was just like, what? All right. So there's a list. Hang on. Let me see. Did I read? Oh, whatever.
What the crank forward is on it to yeah, Fred Hampton never got that shoe deal. Crank forward. What is going on with you today?
Oh, damn. Damn, crank forward. Holy shiggity.
Oh boy.
All right. So let's go to this list really quick. This list is from the Insider.
Oh.
That was an interesting reaction, Sabby.
You never know what the Insider is going to reveal. I'm just saying.
Oh, well, yeah. Wait, what? Oh, okay. All right. So this is all the celebrities who have signed an open letter to defund police budgets. Interesting how they have Natalie Portman, Lizzo, and The Weeknd in the cover.
I'm a star boy.
All right. It says celebrities including Lizzo, Nick's friend John Legend, and Jane Fonda have signed an open letter pushing for a decrease in police budgets and reallocation of government funding to community programs. The Movement for Black Lives, a coalition of Black rights groups, released their petition as part of the Week of Action from June 1st to 7th to combat racism and police brutality in the United States. So there is a letter that was written. So it shows who signed the letter. So, of course, we know Nick's friend. Nick's gonna kill me for this one. Because Nick ratioed him on her tweet once. And then, John Legend decided to block Nick. But anyways, John Legend signed and donated money to the movement for Black Lives. Which, I mean, hey, at least he's good on this part, on this policy. Okay, Lizzo, she also supported it as well. So, all right,
that one doesn't surprise me.
Yep. Taraji P. Henson also signed the letter.
That one don't surprise me either.
Right. Cookie signed the letter. Cookie. All right. And then I was surprised by Natalie Portman.
I'm surprised by that one too.
Yeah. I'm like, wait, Padme signed the letter?
Padme.
Padme done signed the letter. All right. She said, let diplomacy resume. All right. Anakin, you're breaking my heart. You're going down a path I can't follow. Liar! Sorry.
Greg said Natalie Portman is base. She also stands up for Palestinians.
Oh, for real?
That's what it's about.
Looks like I'm going to have to watch her a little bit more. All right. The Weeknd, blinded by the lights. He also signed a letter. Interesting.
I'm a star boy.
Common signed a letter.
That one doesn't surprise me. You know, Common's pretty vocal about like racial justice and stuff like that. He's pretty vocal about that.
All right. Jane Fonda, of course. She was also against she was also against the Vietnam War, if I remember correctly.
What has Jane Fonda not been against? Like, seriously, like, you go back, if you look it up, it's almost like every action Jane Fonda was a part of, whether it's climate change, police brutality, war. Yeah.
Look, I got to say this about Jane Fonda. I may not agree with her 100% on a lot of issues, but I do have to say this. She uses her white privilege as a weapon against some institutions of white supremacy. And I actually applaud that. Now, maybe she may work on certain things, yes, but I like when people like her use her white privilege in that way.
Yeah, she's sick now, JB.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, she's sick now, but she said she feels okay, but she had a cancer diagnosis. But if I remember correctly, wasn't Jane Fonda married to Ted Turner of Turner Television?
Who created CNN, yes.
Ouch.
Yep.
And she still was militant.
Yep. Interesting how that turns out. America Ferrera also signed it as well.
That one doesn't surprise me.
Really? How so?
She's pretty vocal on social justice issues.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Didn't know that. Never really watched anything by her, but it's cool.
You never saw Ugly Betty?
No, I never really watched it.
Oh, it was funny, JB.
There ain't nothing ugly about America Ferrera. She is a very pretty woman.
They tried to make her look ugly in the show.
That's impossible. All right, let's go. Unless they make her an imperialist. Anyway, Brie Larson signed the letter.
I'm kind of surprised about her.
Yeah. But hey, shoot. Cool. All right. I'm cool with that. Megan Rapinoe.
Not surprised.
Not surprised?
She's also been vocal on social issues.
Okay. Cool. All right. And then Yara Shahidi.
Notice no Will Smith, no Morgan Freeman.
I didn't. And besides Common, what other rappers have you seen that signed that letter?
Oh.
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm like T.I., where you at, bro?
Isn't T.I. in trouble right now?
I don't know, and I don't care. But hey, T.I., where you at, bro?
No, that's a good point though, because T.I. always talks about the police.
Yeah, like where you at? Where's T.I. at? Where's where's the baby at? Right?
Snoop.
Where's Kendrick? Where Kendrick Lamar? Where are you at, man? Like, for
I'm kind of
real?
surprised by that one too.
Yeah, like I would expect Kendrick to be at the top of the list, right?
So those are the only people that signed.
Apparently, but there's also another list I'm going to get to, and this one's Hollywood. It's not necessarily singers, but yeah, Leroy's on it. Like, Killer Mike, where are you at, bro?
Killer Mike has kind of become bougie the past year or so. I'm sorry. He's kind of.
Yipper, no, you didn't. No, that you didn't, Yipper. Yipper, you know he ain't signed it. You know he did not sign that. You know he was not even. He's like, no, he's not going to sign it. No, I wouldn't expect him or Beyonce to sign it. But yeah. And it does say something, Wesley. It says a lot. Because we're noticing the people who aren't. Nas, I didn't see him on it.
I am surprised that John Legend signed it. Because some of his views, he more of a lib. Like he's not radical per se, but I'm surprised that he signed it. So yeah, it does look a certain way that some of these other people didn't sign it. Wyclef John, Wyclef is interesting. Cat, look, I said Cat JB. he's an interesting guy. I'm not sure how Wyclef feels about it. Did Ice-T turn celebrity? Would Ice-T sign? Do you think?
He was a cop on TV.
Yeah, he was on Law and Order. I don't know how he feels about police today. I'm not sure.
If they're protecting him, he probably likes him now.
See, that's the thing. Ziv W. The great James Brown was a Nixon supporter. Seen an interview with him on Soul Train.
Good God. Yeah.
James Brown, there's some cringe things about James Brown. Like, he was abusive to women. Like, he was one of those guys that felt like a woman should be in her place. There was some cringe things about James Brown. Although there was one thing that James Brown said to Eddie Murphy. I don't know if I ever told you this, JB. James Brown told Eddie Murphy to bury his money in the ground. And Eddie Murphy asked him why. And he said, so the banks won't take your money.
Oh. That's true. That part is true. Yeah. And before we get to the rest, I want to make sure I get to this. Oh, I forgot to. So there was somebody. Speaking of police, we're gonna discuss federal police now. And I forgot to prime this up. I'm gonna prime it up right now though, because I want to make sure that I touch on what. Damn.
She's black. Why you say that? Ice-T would never fully speak out. His Law and Order check is more important to him.
Damn. Okay. All right. Let me make sure I get this. I have to get it from the text message and put it. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's kind of long. But oh wait, did I just? Okay, no, I didn't. Okay. All right. So this is going to be a little rough. So you guys are going to be like, what? And some of y'all are going to be like, yeah, we knew.
This is other people that supported it, right? Other people that supported it.
Yeah, I'm going to get into that in a second, but
okay.
You know what? I'll do the other people that support it first. Okay, let's do that first before I get to this. But I want to make sure I have that other part primed up before we go, because that's going to be really interesting. You guys are going to be like, what the hell? So I'll get to the federal police in a second. But the other people that supported it, let's go here. This is from Embassies Today. So over 300 artists, executives asked Hollywood. Gosh, get out of my face. I'm not supporting y'all. I'm just using you. All right. I'm so silly. Over 300 artists, executives asked Hollywood to defund police, invest in Black community. So, let's go. So, it says after court organizing a demonstration in Los Angeles, which he was hit with the police baton and shot several times with rubber bullets, Kendrick Sampson from Insecure and Miss Juneteenth has penned a letter to the entertainment industry at large to ask Hollywood to divest from police and invest in the Black community. By the way, this was June of 2020. By the way, so this was fresh on the heels of the George Floyd protests. So it says here, this letter was shared exclusively with Variety, was developed alongside Tessa Thompson from Avengers Endgame and Westworld, and Black Lives Matter co-founders Patrice Cullors and Melinda Abdullah. It is signed by over 300 Black artists and executives, among them Thompson's Marvel co-stars Chadwick Boseman, Anthony Mackie, Michael B. Jordan, Denai Guerrera, as well as Billy Porter, Cynthia Erivo, Idris Elba, Issa Rae, Octavia Spencer, Viola Davis, and many more. It follows a statement from Black Artists for Freedom, which likewise was signed by a list of prominent Black artists and called for cultural institutions to break ties with the police. Now, do you want me to read the letter?
Go ahead.
All right. It says, to our allies in Hollywood, Hollywood has a privilege as a creative industry to imagine and create. We have significant influence over culture and politics. We have the ability to use our influence to imagine and create a better world. Yet historically and currently, Hollywood encourages the epidemic of police violence and culture of anti-Blackness. The way that Hollywood and mainstream media have contributed to the criminalization of Black people, the misrepresentation of the legal system, and the glorification of police corruption and violence has had dire consequences on Black lives. This includes stories that demonize our mental health as violent. These stories contribute to the killings of Black people like Deborah Danner, who was murdered by NYPD Sergeant Hugh Berry. It also includes perpetuation of transphobic stories that are used to justify the murder of Tony McDade in Florida, Nina Pop in Missouri, Dominique Fells in Philadelphia, and Rhea Milton in Ohio. We must end the exaltation of officers and agents that are brutal and act outside the law as heroes. These portrayals encourage cops like Derek Chauvin, the murderer of George Floyd. The lack of true commitment to inclusion and institutional support has only reinforced Hollywood's legacy of white supremacy. This is not only in storytelling, it is cultural and systemic in Hollywood. Our agencies, which often serve as industry gatekeepers, don't recruit, retain, or support Black agents. Our unions don't consider or defend our specific intersectional struggles. Unions are even worse for our below-the-line crew, especially for Black women. Hollywood studios and production companies that exploit the profit from our stories rarely have any senior level Black executives with greenlighting power. Even with the recent success of Black led and produced films and television, myths of limited international sales and lack of university of Black led stories are used to reduce our content to smaller budgets and inadequate marketing campaigns. White people make up the smallest racial demographic globally, yet their stories are seen as internationally universal. When we do get the rare chance to tell our stories, our development, production, distribution, and marketing processes are often marred, filtered, and manipulated by the white gaze. Due to Hollywood's immense influence over politics and culture, all of the racism, discrimination, and glass ceilings Black people in Hollywood experience on a regular basis have direct implications on Black lives everywhere. Every time a Black executive or assistant is passed over for a promotion, or the marketing or production budget for another Black-led film is limited, or when Black agents aren't supported, Black writers are shut out, outnumbered, or diminished. Black hairstylists are neglected. Black gaffers, and camera assistants and operators are shut out below the line unions every single time. that gives us less control over our narratives, continues the legacy of white supremacy's influence over our stories, and makes Black people in Hollywood and all over America less safe. And there's more to this. They also give demands which are very, these demands are very vague. They're not in particular. So that's one critique that I would have. But
Right.
this letter basically lets people know, yeah, Hollywood has also been perpetuating, systemic racism.
Yep.
And also it shows all of the signees. So all the signees of people, from Zoe Kravitz to Tessa Thompson, Queen Latifah signed it. Octavia Spencer,
Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, I didn't know Rosario Dawson was part Black, but I guess she is.
Yeah, she's part Black.
Yeah, Kerry Washington, Lala Anthony, Laverne Cox, Leslie Odom Jr., Mahershala Ali. I'm trying to see who else that I take a mental note of. They see Idris Elba. They see Issa Rae, Janelle Monáe. There's so many people. But in regards to the letter that I just read, at least the part that I read, what is your thoughts, Sabby?
I think it's very telling. I mean, I wish they would have gone into a little bit more detail with the demands. Because someone will read that and they'll just say, okay, divest how? What do you mean? Right. So I wish, like, the way that like Nick and them did 10 demands, like they go into detail. Right. I wish they would have done that. But I mean, it's very telling. They're talking about all the issues, not just with police brutality, but also Black Hollywood. And some people ask, like, why do people call it Black Hollywood? Because it's there's not that many. There's not that many Black people in Hollywood. That's why a lot of times you see the same people over and over and over again. Like, did I just see her in this other movie like a month ago? Yeah.
Now, just to Eleanor, Rosario Dawson was dating Cory Booker, and he was the mayor of Newark in New Jersey. Yeah. But she just recently broke up with him, so she's no longer dating Cory Booker. So, yeah.
I don't know how none. I'll be quiet. I'll be nice. I'll be nice.
I ain't gonna say shit because guess what? Like, thank God. Anywho, but yeah. So I think it's good that Angela Bassett also signed, as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I oh my God, what's his name? He was also in Black Panther. He played Killmonger's father. Damn, I'm forgetting his name. I don't want to try to look for it. But he's an amazing actor. Sterling K. Brown. Sterling K. Brown also was one of the signers too. But the thing is that even though a lot of these people are in a more upper echelon in society as Black actors, right? They still carry with them, what we go through as Black people. So yeah, you'll have, the Will Smiths and you'll have the Morgan Freemans. And also notice that for some of them, it's kind of almost a generational divide, if you notice, because, Morgan Freeman is 150 years old and he's like, no, you shouldn't defund the police. Morgan Freeman was 99, 100 years ago. And then you have Will Smith, who's in his 50s. I'm sorry. That was was that ageist of me?
Some people say Morgan Freeman was born old.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman looked old. Morgan Freeman looked old when he was old enough to drink. Like, good Lord. Anyway, you look at the Will Smiths and the Charles Barkleys and all of them, and you go, there's a disconnect, And then some people, they kind of forget where they come from. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then you also got to remember some of them came up in the post-racial society that, was like the 80s and the 90s. And so they were, coming up then. So it was like, oh, well, we didn't have to do all that now because, we signed the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act and, all this, and we did all that. So we're good now. And it's like, no. We're still not good. And a lot of people are seeing and saying that. Like, look, you got Yara Shahidi. Like, homegirl is what, 19, 20 years old? And she's signing it? And she was on Blackish. And it's like, yeah, no. Like, defund the police. And she's young and she's seeing it from her eyes, what's going on.
And they talked about it on Blackish too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised that Jennifer Lewis didn't sign it. I'm like, really? Jennifer Lewis, you didn't sign it? Really?
I think some people might have been worried about their careers, JB.
Maybe. But Sheryl Lee Ralph signed it.
Well, she was always a real one.
Yeah. So that's one thing. But speaking of real ones, I really want to share this because I'm not going to spend too much time on it because, well, the tube may not like me bringing this up, but I really got to bring this up because did you know that they went after Aretha Franklin? This is from Jen Dies. Shout out to you. It's at Jen Elizabeth NJ. I'm sorry, HJ. Says news. Years ago, I FOIA'd Freedom of Information Act at FBI files on Aretha Franklin. Today, I received the files. While incomplete, they show a repeated and disgusting suspicion of the famed Black singer, her work, and activists around her. So, and just as a pause, Aretha Franklin looks just like the women in my family. My great aunt looks just like Aretha Franklin. That looks just like her. Anywho, from my great aunt to my grandmother, they all look like Aretha Franklin. Anyway, she begins with the 1976 document states that the, quote, West Coast Communist newspaper, end quote, carried a story that the National United Committee to Free Angela Davis raised $38,000 and that Aretha Franklin sang at the event. Further, they claimed Franklin was associated with other, quote unquote, Black extremists and groups. So she has pictures of the receipts for that. In 1967, declassified in 2022, MLK Southern Leadership Conference 10th anniversary discussed the document titled Communist Infiltration of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference International Security, noting that Sidney Poitier and Aretha Franklin, popular entertainer, will also appear at the banquet. 1968 discusses the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, labeling U.S. treatment of Vietnamese as genocide. FBI source discusses Aretha Franklin's father and also said SCLC leadership has taken a hate America and pro-communist line, which the mass of Negroes would not recognize, which they will blindly follow, end quote. 1971, Aretha Franklin's every move is carefully documented by the FBI. In this document, just now declassified, direct contract information and details of her Atlantic Records contract are discussed, presumably, quote unquote, just in case. I want to get to one part that kind of like was kind of spooky to me. Let me make sure I get to that. Okay. There were frequent attempts to connect Aretha Franklin and other notable Black figures to anything they deemed nefarious. The FBI document follows up on any claim that she was connected to the Black Liberation Army, any quote-unquote radical movement, defining there was no evidence. And then This one's interesting. It says the CW advised many OC figures own or control entertainers or groups. Some of the groups are entertainers, and then the people who control them that he is aware are Michael Jackson and Aretha Franklin by Stan Hoffman. So even Michael Jackson was being looked at.
This is crazy, JB.
Yeah. It says 1979, Aretha Franklin had some incredibly scary things happen to her. 4 months after her father was shot in Detroit, she received a threat from a man who said he was going to off her, I'm not going to say that word, and her family. She was threatened many times over her career. Another example comes on a letter, Dear Aretha. It says, quote, Dear Aretha, I'm still in charge of you. I am not to be crossed. You should be paying me some of my money. Evidently, your advisors do not know the dangers of neglecting what I'm saying. I would hate to drag your father into this, end quote. So this thread, I'm going to share in the chat because I can't read it all. And it actually has pictures of all the receipts. And so it just goes to show that, yeah, even people like Aretha Franklin were being targeted.
They didn't think, JB. They didn't think. It's just weird they went after her. Mm-hmm. But I never would have known about this.
Yeah.
You know, so, they went after Aretha.
Mm-hmm. So the thing is that, you know, there's a lot of, especially Black artists back in the day that were really, they really were in line with a lot of what we were doing, you know, through, you know, the civil rights struggle and for advancing us, to, you know, towards liberation. And they wanted that even as celebrities back then. And then they used their celebrity in order to promote, you know, those of us who were in the struggle. And so the people who were famous were targeted for this. So now when you have people like Jay-Z saying that, oh, well, we should just, you know, we should just make our own money and basically continue in this capitalistic narrative. Well, you also got to realize that people like Jay-Z is trying to cover his own behind because he may also know what's going on behind the scenes regarding, you know, what people are being through.
Mm-hmm. And now that he's a billionaire now, right?
Yeah.
Now that he's a billionaire, he's most likely going to be protected.
Yeah. So yeah, that's something I also wanted to bring up too, you know. And the thing is that I don't know. I just think that, you know, the whole thing about disagreeing with defund the police, it really means our lives, because it's like, what does defund the police really mean? It means a divestment from police in order to reinvest in communities that are disenfranchised in order to raise us up. Because if you take people out of poverty, then the rate of crime goes down.
That's right.
Means that if you defund the police, it also takes away the need for more police.
That's right.
So
that's right. I'm gonna hit these comments really quick, JB. I think there's something. Oh, Roger Meadows. Sabby, don't forget Lou Alcindor. Oh, aka Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That's right. I forgot about him too. Yeah, he was pretty outspoken. And thanks for the super chat, Frank. Let's ask Morgan Freeman about how he got into that car accident in Mississippi a few years ago. Oh.
I didn't even know he was in a car accident.
Me neither. Okay, I might have to look that up, Frank.
Yeah. Let me check Rockfin. Kyle Jones says, nah, Dawson was Booker's beard. I don't know what that means, but he's talking about Cory Booker. Yeah. So, I mean, before we go, Sabs, what's your whole thoughts about all this, about especially Black celebrities coming out either for or against defund the police?
It's, you know, it's disappointing. I would have liked to see more names in support, you know, but I think some people just forgot where they came from.
Yeah. I mean, we also got, okay, go ahead.
And now, like, they're wealthy, they're just trying to protect their wealth. Because they're looking at it as though, oh, if we defund the police, then that means that if someone breaks into my house, then maybe there may not be a cop to come save my property.
Well, I mean, sure, if you live in a rich neighborhood that's dominated mostly by white people, yeah,
right,
of course. But what are they doing for the rest of us? I mean, they're not really doing anything for us.
Nope.
Just not, And then on top of it, I mean, how many? Like, okay. It's gonna be kind of a lukewarm take in here, but it's gonna be a hot take out there. For those celebrities that are against defund the police, I don't want to hear or see another hashtag of Black Lives Matter. I don't want to hear anything about, oh, we should just reform the police after billions of dollars were just given to police, and then they continuously kill people who look like us. Save your tears, save your thoughts and prayers, because we were telling you what the answer was the entire time, and you said you didn't agree. So guess what? It's going to continue to keep happening. And guess what? Now you're going to come out and say, oh, well, I'm sorry this happened. No, you're not, because the answer was right in front of you, but you didn't like it. Even though it was the correct answer, you didn't like it, because guess what? That means that you're trying to keep yourself safe within these communities. But this is what? The rest of us are not safe. And you're using your proximity to these rich people in order to keep yourself safe, whereas the rest of us aren't. And guess what? That also means people in your own family too, because not everybody in your family is rich just like you.
That's right.
That, y'all may have, given a leg up to some of your immediate family members, but y'all cut off, a lot of y'all who are rich, y'all cut off some of those extended family members because y'all didn't want to give money to them. So guess what? They're still poor, and they're still being profiled by police and still be killed out there.
Yeah. And so if we get pulled by the police, they're not going to look at us and say, sorry, I'm stuffy.
Nah, it's okay.
They're not going to look at us and say, oh, you're JB, fine. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. They're not going to let us go.
No. And thank you so much for the Roger. Yeah, I'm about to go to Rockfin right quick. Thank you so much. Let's go to that really quick before I continue, because the Mr. Encyclopedia, I should call him Encyclopedia Rogerdica, because I love Roger Middle's takes. Okay, so Roger, thanks for the tip on Rockfin, says, got here late at 6:42. Out of the black celebs against, did you cover Gen X and Boomer black women's heartthrob Denzel being against defund? Rosario, I feel you, Sab, though I thought the same thing. Funny she broke when he dropped out. You loser, I won't be first lady. I'm out, Black Panther, Eldridge Cleaver stumping for. I'm out, Black Panther, Eldridge Cleaver stumped for Nixon Reagan. Oh my God. Yeah, Eldridge Cleaver was. I heard he was pretty bad. And then he said this should be a layup to libs, celebrities, seeing they are quick to stand up for social justice, but never economic justice. We must pull a Wayne Brady. A Wayne Brady. Yep. All right. So, Sabs, what you got coming up on your show tonight?
Yeah, tonight. So I got 3 news stories tonight, and then tomorrow, me and Nick, we're doing a panel here during the Sabby Sabs time slot, and we're going to talk about election integrity. So Pasta, Fiorella, Lucy will be here with us, so don't miss that discussion. That is going to be really important to watch, especially if you think that electoral politics isn't rigged. So they're going to break that down. And then also tomorrow night on my channel, I have a very special guest. I'm not mentioning who it is. That's part of my poll tonight. So I want to see if people get it right. but I'll reveal who it is at the end of the show tonight.
You never told me. You never told me. See, now I gotta stay tuned just like everybody else. All right, fine. Okay, fine. Oh. Guess what? We're going to, you guys are going to see Sabby tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, right? All right. Join me tomorrow, 8 o'clock, because Sabby didn't tell me shit. She didn't say shit to me. And she tells me a lot.
I forgot.
She even tells me what she has for dinner sometimes. She didn't tell me this. That means it's going to be big. Watch, okay? So... Sabby's like, he. I'm a surprise, JB.
Eric doesn't know either.
Really?
No.
Ooh, if Eric don't, Eric's on the inside too. All right, Eric. All right. Okay. Now, Sabby's got to go. I gotta go. Stay tuned for the JB show. Also, next week I'm going to be having on Ron Placone on my show this Tuesday coming up, and. That's all I got to say. All I got to say is, what are your plans? What are yourselves? Leave the world better than you found it. And we're going to end with a song. Tonight, I celebrate my love for you. Thanks for the super chats. Tonight,